Duel Review is brought to you by NexusDigitalComics.com. On today's Duel Review, we take a look at Resident Evil, the video games. I'm RJ.
And I'm Nick.
Let's get to it. Today is November 4th, it's a Friday, and we're going to be talking about Resident Evil, the video game.
That's right, and the first one came out in 1996, a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, who doesn't know the Resident Evil? But let's go on a little memory lane back to when it first began.
I was there.
Were you?
Oh yeah, I got the first one, second one.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think of back then? Can you remember exactly what you thought?
I remember it being kind of weird, especially the camera hole lock-in camera thing was a little odd. But I was really super excited. I mostly remember 2. I remember,
Yes, 2 is the one that most people do.
The screen and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But as we talked about on the Silent Hill review, they fell into 2 main camps when
right.
I was.
One was Silent Hill, one was Resident Evil.
And I was definitely Resident Evil.
Right.
I liked that, and to me, when I picked it up, it felt like it had a lot more history behind it than it actually did, because it was, brand new.
Yeah.
I just remember playing hours and hours, and it was the first game that kind of creeped me out, I guess. It didn't really, I don't know, it was just kind of one of those things like, if I open this door, is there going to be something on the other side? Yeah. And I can't remember another game that did that. I
think what I liked about the Resident Evil series, and this is going to get me shot, I know, is you had to go and find the typewriter tapes to save.
Yeah.
And I always liked that dynamic. Like, suddenly even saving a game has become...
they had that all the way up to 4. Did they have that in 5? I don't remember.
No, I don't think they had it in 4 either.
Oh, yeah, they did. Well, yeah, they certainly did.
They had save points, but you didn't have to find the tape.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, they had typewriters, so they saved it.
Yeah. But I always thought that was cool, because now suddenly saving your game is kind of like a hectic thing. I have to find a tape.
Yeah, I remember that, for sure. Fun. I kind of forgot that
was part of it. Yeah, that was cool. Well, it wasn't cool. It was
frustrating.
It was frustrating, but it definitely added to the atmosphere of the Resident Evil. Even the controls. My God, you talk to anyone, they'll talk about the controls. It's like you move forward and then you turn, and then you move forward and then you turn, and then you move forward. It's not easy. And if you put the game down and go play something else and then come back to this game, you have to reacclimate yourself to damn controls.
Right, and I was going to say that the controls. Yeah, another thing I remember is not quite I want to go forward.
Yeah,
but I'm kind of going off to the side. What's going on? And it was just
Oh, it was so hard.
It was kind of frustrating in that perspective, I didn't like finding the red and green herbs. I've never liked that, like having to mix them, like find them both.
But again, that's what I like about the series. Just like the save tape, you have to find these ingredients, you have to put them together for them to do any real good.
Yeah, and they just eat up your inventory, and you have a whole bunch of greens and no reds, and you can't do a damn thing.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, it was really something special and something new then. And the limited nature of the camera added suspense, and it forced you to do things a certain way.
Right.
And that also helped with placement of things, because you were, sure you were going to see it. I mean, they knew you were going to see it because it was going to be in your field of view.
But some things were kind of off to the side and hidden.
That's true, but
what I liked was when the camera was like right there and the zombie was here, but you didn't know it, and you're getting attacked.
Yeah. Well, I had less times overlooking things than I do in later versions, I think. But then again, later versions, you don't necessarily need to find everything. In these games, you pretty much needed to find everything. This was
survival horror, not I'm gonna run. Oh,
but yeah, the whole Raccoon City thing. I always felt like there was a lot more history there.
Second one
than ever there was.
Yeah.
It's never really been. As far as I know, I'm sure there's a comic that probably
there's definitely
goes
comics,
into depth about Raccoon City, but. Yeah. It just felt like there's this whole lexicon that we haven't.
The compound was underneath Raccoon City.
Yeah. And that's another thing, is it just kind of evolved to this big grandiose thing. But yeah, it was just the environments were different than what I'd seen. The mood was different than what I'd seen. Even the load screen, on 2 especially. Was, it's like red, and it was just, but because video games at that, whatever is like Mario and whatever, and it's like dead
Resident
zombies.
Evil. If you haven't touched, what is wrong with you? If you haven't touched a Resident Evil game, it follows the story of Umbrella is a company, the big evil corporate company.
Kind of like Monsanto in real life.
Monsanto?
No, bastards.
I don't know.
Terminator Gene. That's all I got to say. Look up Terminator Gene.
I'm gonna
They're
have to look
messing
that up.
with our food supply.
Damn bastards.
Anyway, Umbrella, like the evil, chemical corporation.
Yeah, the evil chemical corporation. They create a virus.
Military funded.
And the virus gets loose, turns people into zombies. You go on a hunt. So yeah, it was definitely an innovative game, and a lot of the games won awards. Like I think the second one won awards. I think the first one won awards. Definitely the fourth one and the fifth one.
You're a big fan of 4.
Oh yes, 4. I mean, I don't know anyone who isn't other than you.
I like it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I just don't understand the departure from
the zombies to the virus to the plagas.
right to the cult, whatever.
Well, it's not really a cult. It's like a microorganism that kind of latched onto the person's brainstem or something like that, and kind of.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think it was the basis of the virus, but I'm not 100% on that.
I don't know.
So yeah,
I never plugged into that fully, but I did enjoy the gameplay for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, you gotta. The game is amazing. It reinvented Resident Evil, and if you haven't played a single Resident Evil game, I would start with number 4. If you want to see what we used to play, go to number 2. But if you want to start with a series and be like, what's a really good game? Go with number 4. Number 5 is equally as awesome, but I would go to number 4 because that's, I don't know, more.
I think that people
draws you in.
People that go to number 5 are going to miss number 4, and that's a shame.
Yeah, don't skip number 4, please. Please do not skip number 4. It's an amazing game.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a tiny bit dated, honestly. The textures are a little bit.
Okay, but
GameCube,
Yeah,
I'm sure they've released it, on.
They did it on PlayStation 2 and Xbox, I believe.
Okay.
Right. I'm thinking.
I'm just wondering if it was Xbox 360 or just regular Xbox.
I don't remember.
Okay. Anyway, definitely check it out. It spawned, obviously, comics and movies.
Yeah, movies. Yeah.
We'll maybe talk about the movies at some point.
I think if we do, we should only really focus on the first two or 3. Yeah.
First 2.
First 2.
Yeah. Although you can't really talk about the second one without the third one, just because it's a cliffhanger kind of thing.
Right.
But those.
All right, maybe we'll talk about all of them.
Anyway,
I think there's 5 of them, aren't there?
I didn't think there was 5.
I think there's 5.
So have you played the whole Code Veronica? You said there was 15.
Oh, yeah, there's 17 titles. Some of them are remakes of the first one, but
half of them I haven't. More than half of them I haven't played.
I haven't. Yeah, I don't think I've played more than half of them, but
I think they're in my queue in GameFly. They never send them to them. And
there's a lot. But the ones that I would recommend, obviously, are number 2 if you want to go old school, number 4 and 5 if you want to, see where it's at now. That's the best place to go.
Yeah, and of course, Chris Redfield and Nemesis and a couple other characters, Jill, and they show up in the Capcom. In Capcom versus Marvel series.
Marvel versus Capcom, yeah. And it was, is it Nemesis? Oh yeah, Nemesis is coming up, but it was Wesker.
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of fun, and if you haven't for whatever reason played those games, you've probably seen them in that.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where they go. We'll see how they. Because the last one was very top of the line as far as the graphics and the gameplay.
I think people are still buying new copies of it now.
So I wonder where they'll go from here, but it's definitely a good franchise. You shouldn't miss it. Of course, we're talking about it partly because it's around Halloween. So
and also because
it warrants being mentioned in the top survival horror, obviously.
Right. But I also wanted to bring it up because I think the younger generation is going to miss all of these old games that we love, like Silent Hill, the first ones, and Resident Evil, and the original Mega Mans, although they did make Mega Man 8 or whatever, so I think they could kind of get back into
hard
it.
As hell.
Yeah, those games are so freaking hard. But yeah, please, if you're young, revisit these games, see where we
Do your homework.
Do your homework.
If you're going to be the generation making the games coming up, you really should be looking at some of these old games, if nothing else, just to see, what has been done, so you're not like, oh, this is fun, you know, neat and whatever. And it's like, it's been done.
Yeah, to death.
You're gonna see Resident Evil 1. What's wrong with you? Don't be a chump. Play old games.
Don't be a chump, play old games. That's going on the shirt.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so yeah, check out number 2, check out number 4, check out number 5. Everything else. Oh, I think the Umbrella Chronicles
Okay.
was the
No,
first
it's
person.
Veronica.
No, the first person
Code
one.
Veronica. Yeah, okay.
I think it was Umbrella Chronicles.
Yeah.
I think that one was interesting, but it was kind of a departure from what you're used to. So I wouldn't bother too much with it unless you like, you know, the shooter on rails.
Yeah, it's almost literally like.
House of the Dead.
No, I was gonna say in Dead Space.
Oh, Dead Space Extraction.
You're right.
Dead Space Extraction. That's right.
Compared to Dead Space.
So yeah, 2, 4, 5.
Yeah.
That's where I would go.
There very well could not be a Dead Space and things like that if it weren't for
That's right.
Resident Evil.
Yeah, Resident Evil is definitely an icon.
Silent Hill. All right, guys. That's it for today.
Bye.
See you next time.
We're gonna do a Mega Boost next time. Oh, first shot. Did you ever play a Mega Boost?
Knock it off.
That was fun.
Oh.
A Mega Boost.
No.
PlayStation.
No. Oh, I give
Kids,
up.
play your old games. A Mega Boost, seriously. And what was it? Jet Moto was fun.
I don't like sports games.
Well, I like the racing game because you run like a jetpack.
I do like MotorStorm, though. I think that's fun. Next up on Duel Review, it's Tank Girl.
And I'm gonna be you know, castorized for this. Castorized? Is that the right word?
I don't even know if that's a word.
I'm gonna be you know, beheaded. I can't think of the right freaking word. I'm gonna be beheaded for this. Castrated?
Is that what you're looking for?
Catapulted.
Catastrophized? Catastrophized.
Decapitated.
That was it? Wow, you were so not there.
Well, it's got a C in it.
Was it fun?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, cooperative games are always fun because you have the one person going, no, turn right, it's so weird.
It's usually me when I play with my nephew. Like, I'm dead again, hurry up, get over here.
Okay, so where were we?
He's like the cautious kind, and I balls out. And
Oh yeah,
die all the time.
I'm terribly cautious. You know, I'll like look around a corner, go.
I just go out and then shoot a punch and then run back to cover. You know, kind of thing. It doesn't always work out for me. Some games it does, and I actually like those games. So anyway,
in number 4, you shoot their heads, and then this thing comes up like.
Yeah, it's just kind of like they. To me, it's like they. You sure go on for a long time. You love that Last Skeleton of Cadabra thing.
Yeah.
Agreed. Milk it for all it's worth.
The joke that never ends is the funny joke. But, you know, they didn't want to do the, you know, I mean, Umbrella was definitely behind it. Umbrella's in everything.
Yeah.
Frickin' Umbrella. But...
Hate those damn things.
Damn.
Keeping you dry. Keeping you down.
Okay. Now I'm just seeing like all this rain on top of an umbrella crying as it can't, you know, come close to me.
You should draw that.
I should put it on the shirt.
The stress of having to negotiate with these, like almost like you're drunk stumbling down
because there was
dangerous hallway.
Dangerous hallway.
Watch out for the pit. Watch out for the angry corgi.
Yeah, I think if you have good questions, write them down and we'll address them.
We'll address them to hell. Care of the United States Postal Service.
I didn't know they delivered there.
Yeah, I think they go to New Jersey. Oh, zing!
Because I'm from Jersey and that's supposed to be funny. Except over here in Washington, no Stewarts, so I can't get a fat Sal. All right. There's no. Well, I mean, okay, technically not all Stewarts have fat
Ask for
Sals.
a sloppy Joe and. Yeah,
I asked for a sloppy Joe, and it's, you know, it's not the pastrami and the coleslaw. It's the manwich. That's not a sloppy Joe. What is that? They put mayonnaise on everything.
That's true. How is the whole coleslaw and what is it, pastrami? How is that sloppy? Is the coleslaw like dripping with nastiness? Or?
No, it's just a sloppy Joe. That's a traditional sloppy Joe.
Doesn't sound that sloppy. You just call it Joe.